Hello everyone, now we will start off with question number 7 part 1 of M.L.Aggarwal quadratic equations from class 9. The question is 4x square plus 4x plus 1 is equal to 0. It is already in the form of ax square plus bx plus c, or we can say it is already in the form of a general quadratic equation. Now we have to split this middle term into two such numbers such that their product is 1 into 4. Product is 1 into 4, which is constant into the coefficient of x square, and their sum is positive 4. Sum is positive 4 of middle term. Now the two numbers are 2 and 2, or only 2, because 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 and 2 into 2 is also equal to 4. So we have found our two middle terms. Now let's split 4x. So the equation has now become 4x square plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now we can take 2x common from 4x square and 2x, and from here we can take 1 common. From these two terms we can take 1 common. Now the equation will become 2x in bracket 2x plus 1. If we take 2x common from here, 2x will be left, and if we take 2x common from here, 1 will be left. And if we take 1 common, then the original expression will be left, which is equal to 0. Now as 2x plus 1 is common, we can take that out, and the equation has now become 2x plus 1 in bracket 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now if either of them is 0, both are same only. So let's take this one 0. If 2x plus 1 is 0, then 2x is equal to negative 1 and x is equal to negative 1 by 2. So we will get the same value for this bracket also. So we can conclude that x is equal to negative 1 by 2 and negative 1 by 2. Now let's begin with question number 7 part 2. The whole square of x minus 4 plus 5 square is equal to 13 square. So if we look this term, we remember one identity, which is the whole square of a minus b is equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square. Here a is equal to x and b is equal to 4. So now we have to open this bracket, and we know 5 square is 25 and 13 square is 169. So after opening this bracket, our equation will become x square minus 2ab minus 2 into x into minus 4 will give us minus 8x, and whole square of 4 is 16 plus whole square of 5 is 25 and 13 square is 169. So we will add 16 and 25, which will give us x square minus 8x plus 41 is equal to 169. Now we will transpose 169 to the left hand side. If we transpose 169 to the left hand side, it will become negative, and minus 169 plus 41 will give us negative 128. So now we have our quadratic equation in its general form: ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a is 1. As there is no coefficient of x square, we take it as 1. The coefficient of x is minus 8, or b is equal to minus 8, and constant is negative 128. So now we have to break this middle term minus 8x into two such numbers such that their product is 1 into negative 128, 1 into negative 128, and sum as minus 8. Sum as minus 8. So the two numbers are minus 16 and 8, as minus 16 into 8 give us negative 128, and minus 16 plus 8 give us negative 8. Now we have got our two middle terms, minus 16 and positive 8. Now let's split minus 8x. So the equation has become x square minus 16x plus 8x minus 128 is equal to 0. We can take x common from these two terms, and we can take positive 8 as common from these two terms. If we take x common from these two terms, x will be left here in place of x square, and minus 16 will be left in place of minus 16. If we take positive 8, then x will be left in place of positive x, and minus 16 will be left in place of negative 128. So as x minus 16 is common in both, we can take that out, and the required equation will be x plus 8 in bracket x minus 16 is equal to 0. Now we can take either of the brackets as 0. Let's take x plus 8 equals to 0. If x plus 8 is equal to 0, then the value of x we will get will be negative 8. And if x minus 16 is equal to 0, then the value of x will be 16. So we have two values of x, negative 8 and 16. Hence the roots of the given equation are negative 8 and 16. So let's begin with question number 8 part 1, which is 21x square is equal to 4 in bracket 2x plus 1. Now we have to open the bracket first. 21x square is equal to 8x plus 4. 4 into 2x will give us 8x, and 4 into 1 will give us positive 4. Now we have to transpose this whole term to the left hand side. So it will be minus 8x minus 4 is equal to 0. Now we have this equation in the general form of a quadratic equation, which is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now we have to split minus 8x into two numbers such that their product is 21 into negative 4, 21 into negative 4, and sum as negative 8. So if we think about it, then we get our two numbers as minus 14 and 6, as minus 14 into 6 will give us negative 84, and minus 14 plus 6 will give us negative 8. So we have our two middle terms, minus 14 and 6. Now let's split minus 8x. So we get 21x square minus 14x plus 6x is minus 4 is equal to 0. We can take 7x common from these two terms, and we can take 2 common from these two terms. After simplifying, the result we get is 7x in bracket 3x minus 2. When we take 7x common from 21x square, we are left with 3x, and when we take 7x common from minus 14x, we are left with negative 2 plus 2 in bracket 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. If we take 2 common from 6x, we are left with 3x, and if we take 2 common from negative 4, we are left with negative 2. As 3x minus 2 is common in both, we can take that out, and we get 7x plus 2 in bracket, and 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now we can take either of them equals to 0. Let's take 7x plus 2. If 7x plus 2 is equal to 0, then 7x would be equal to negative 2. And after simplifying, or we can say after transposing 7 to the left hand side, it will be divided. So we get x is equal to negative 2 by 7. And if we take 3x minus 2 is equal to 0, then 3x would be equal to 2, as negative 2 will go to the right hand side and will become positive. And 3, as it is multiplied with x, it will be divided. So x is equal to 2 by 3. And now we have our two values of x, negative 2 by 7 and 2 by 3. Hence we can conclude that the roots of the given equation are negative 2 by 7 and 2 by 3. Now let's start with question number 8, part 2 of M.L.Aggarwal quadratic equations from class 9. The question is 2x square divided by 3 minus x by 3 minus 1 is equal to 0. So for making the calculation a bit easier, we have to remove 3 from here. We can do that by multiplying both the sides by 3. If we multiply 3 with the LHS, we get this as the equation form, and if we multiply 3 with RHS, we get 0 into 3. Now as we know, 3 will be multiplied to this term, and also to this one. So if we multiply 3 with 2x square by 3, 3 and 3 will cancel out. If we multiply 3 with minus x by 3, 3 and 3 will cancel out. And if we multiply 3 by negative 1, we will get negative 3. And 0 into 3 will be equal to 0. So we get our equation as 2x square minus x minus 3 is equal to 0. Now our quadratic equation is in the general form of a quadratic equation, ax square plus bx plus c, where a is equal to 2, b is equal to negative 1, and our constant is negative 3. Now we have to split this middle term into two such numbers such that their product is 2 into negative 3, 2 into negative 3, which will give us negative 6, and sum as minus 1. The coefficient of x here is nothing, so we take it as 1, and therefore we get sum as minus 1. The two numbers are 2 and negative 3, as 2 into negative 3 will give us negative 6, and 2 plus negative 3 will give us negative 1. So we have our two middle terms 2 and negative 3. Now let's split minus x. So after splitting, we get the result as 2x square plus 2x minus 3x minus 3 is equal to 0. We can take 2x common from these two terms and negative 3 common from these two terms. So after factorizing or simplifying, we get the result as 2x in bracket x plus 1. If we take 2x common from 2x square, we are left with x, and if we take 2x common from 2x, we are left with 1. If we take minus 3 common from this equation or this expression, x is left here in place of minus 3x, and 1 is left here in place of negative 3, as negative 3 into 1 will give us negative 3. Now x plus 1 is common in both, so we can take that out, and our equation will be 2x minus 3 in bracket x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now we can take either of them as 0. Let's take 2x minus 3 equal to 0. If 2x minus 3 is equal to 0, then 2x will be equal to 3 and the value of x will be 3 by 2. And if x plus 1 is equal to 0, then the value of x will be negative 1. So we have our two values of x, 3 by 2 and negative 1. Hence we can conclude that 3 by 2 and negative 1 are the roots or solutions of this quadratic equation. Hope you understand and thanks for watching.